for some peace of mind, but TikTok said a gator drove a Jeep through the blinds. Florida man's at it again with fireworks and a goat, and someone married a ghost in a Dollar Tree coat. Hey, what in the Walmart rapture is going on? Aliens dancing in a Waffle House song. Karen's got a taser in the checkout line, and Dr. Oz just adopted birds to fight off crime. Oh, I'm just sitting here scrolling my jaw on the floor. The internet's a circus and I can't take no more. Yeah, when it's wildin', there's a raccoon in the sink. Someone robbed a Wendy's just to steal a frosty drink. A pastor's gone viral yelling about the end is near, while folks ride hoverboards and wedding gear. Yeah, what in the Walmart rapture is this mess? Florida's a movie, but it's filmed in VHS. Someone fed meth to a squirrel named Dave, and now he's in a cage just throwing rave. I'm just
Good morning, everyone. Here is your once monthly reminder that if you have any subscription service that needs to be canceled by the 5th or it charges you, this is the time to go ahead and skip that. Not that I ever remember, even though I tell you guys to do it. Again, do as I preach, not as I do, my pseudo children. My adopted children. Good morning, everyone. We have got a lot of headlines, a lot happening in the world, and some absurdity. And unfortunately, Nick will not be able to get off of work early, so I will be handling the morning recap. And I sent him an invite. Now, the Comcast people are not supposed to be here until afternoon, so everything crossed that the lords of the interwebs stay, ready to go. So hopefully that will work out and everything. Now, I don't know who needs to hear this, but in regards to our first headline, don't accuse people of red rum on TikTok, no matter what your tarot cards say. Honest to goodness, you guys, I have no idea why it is that we continue to have idiots on TikTok, but I guess it's, they pick TikTok. I don't know. Look, I don't have a TikTok. I don't intend to have a TikTokity presence. No. But a University of Ohio professor has been awarded $5 million after a TikTok tarot influencer claimed that she ordered quadruple murders. Do what now? Now, I am all the confusion here. Dear Lord, please make this make sense. My brain already hurts. A University of Idaho professor has won a $10 million judgment after a tarot TikTok influencer publicly published false claims that she was behind the savage quadruple slayings of 4 college students. A Boise jury in U.S. District Court ordered the fortune-telling Texas TikToker Ashley Gillard on Friday to pay $10 million after concluding that she falsely accused Professor Rebecca Schofield of having a secret romance with one of the 4 victims and then orchestrating their unalivings. The Idaho Statesperson, a local newspaper, has reported. Now, following the verdict, Schofield thanked the jury and said she hoped the case sends a clear warning that making false statements online have consequences in the real world. Yeah, this is why I am very clear when I am talking about speculation. Look, I think it's great. True crime, I think, is a great genre where we can, speculate. But in the court space, there is a clear distinction between what is admissible and what isn't. And I think that is where we get this gulf between people who are really big in the true crime space. So then they start watching trials and they don't understand why all this information that they heard on, all these really cool true crime channels, you know, isn't allowed in trial. Also, if a pack of card tells you something, don't listen to it. I mean, I can barely play Uno. D Seriously, don't do this. The murder of 4 students on November 13th, 2022 was the darkest chapter in our university's history, Schofield told news outlets. Today's decision shows that respect and care should always be granted to victims during these tragedies, and I hope that this is a difficult chapter that will be closed, and I can return to a more normal life with my family and the wonderful Moscow community. Now, Schofield is the university's history department chair, and she filed a lawsuit in December of 2022, uh, just weeks after the Hagatha is doing okay, hopefully. My body seems to be used to the cold weather. I think it was the constant bouncing between, warm and cold that was really getting bothersome for my for my nervous system. So these incredibly tragic and grisly murders happened, and this redonkulous, insane, and mental midget without wrinkles in her brain decided that she was going to start uploading videos to her more than 100,000 TikTok followers in late November, accusing Schofield of having a secret relationship with one of the students and claiming that she had quote unquote ordered the unaliving. Now, that garnered her millions of views across social media. Now, the complaint stated that Schofield had never met any of the victims and was actually out of state when the unalivings occurred. Even after being served with a cease and desist letter, and after police publicly confirmed that Schofield had absolutely no connection to the Red Rums, the Houston based tarot reader continued posting the videos. Yeah, if you get a cease and desist and your lawyer, get a lawyer. And then if that lawyer says, shut your big hole or you're going to pay $10,000, her attorney must have just been like, Jesus, take the entire damn truck. Don't take the wheel, take the entire transmission. Dear Lord. Also, serious hey, Brian Koberger, you giant, genius. Here's a tip. If you want to be like like Ted Bundy, you know what Ted Bundy had that you didn't, you giant megalomaniac, ridiculous, well, piece of trash that I hope everyone forgets. You know what Ted Bundy could pass as a human being. You look like if reptilians and catillions got together and decided to make a person based on a Kubrick film. Like, dude, you can't blend. Like, Ted Bundy couldn't, in my opinion, with that fucking unibrow. Okay, yes, Hagatha is not that great. The F word is coming out. Miss Erica, you should get the transcripts from this hearing. The psychic was oh, for the love of giblets. I hadn't even gotten into this. I will be really real with you guys. Professional time. I My read on Brian Koberger was always that he he is legitimately he had no inner soul. Like, he looks empty. If there were ever a person that, everyone in the neighborhood are always like, he was such a quiet person and we'd never suspect it." No, no, Brian Koberger is the one person that everyone's like, "Yeah, we always figured he had someone in his basement." Mr. Mo is my bestest husband, boyfriend. He got me a fountain pop. Look, I'm not gonna lie, I am addicted to caffeine and nicotine, but there is something special about a fountain pop. Now, this is from Marathon. Normally, I don't cheat on my Polar Pops, but okay. See, this is romance after 15 years of marriage. This is definitely, my love language. I'm like, because, okay, I'm a weirdo and I love Coke Zero with just a little bit of lemonade in it, not gonna lie. So it's like, "Well, if you're wanting to be sweet to me today, you could get me a fountain pop." So I am spoiled, I am spoiled. So thank you guys. But y'all, here's the thing, Brian Koberger, I could not get past my lizard brain assessment of him in that there when I looked at him, there's nothing there. So I knew that my initial Ed Gein had the Ed Gein I would rate as more harmless. Brian Koberger makes everything in that primal part of my brain, he strikes me as a predator. Unsafe, unsafe, and so I knew I couldn't be objective, so I was waiting for the trial because I knew that we've, had different we've had states, that don't have a strong case, so I knew since I could not be objective, I knew because everything about Brian Koberger makes my lizard brain want to burn it with holy fire, allegedly in Minecraft, that I wasn't going to be able to be objective, uh, by watching the hearing, so I will have to get into those because I kind of avoided it because that and my oldest daughter and then middle daughter are almost Irish twins, almost, so right around the time that we found out who he was when my oldest daughter was going to college, and y'all, there was no way I was gonna be objective. That's just point blank end of I clocked him as a predator, and I knew I wasn't going to be objective. But this looks like a hilarious thing. I definitely need to get those transcripts because holy fazoli, nothing like a pro se tarot reader. Your Honor, like, I don't know if you realize this, but when I was born, Mercury was in the 7th house, and I'm a cusper Sagittarius, and, like, it's really hard for me to, like, understand consequences. I mean, I can only imagine. So, yes, I do need to find those transcripts because holy fazoli's. Yeah, that's what was so interesting to me because, and Shizzy and I, we need to get back on our, um, our evening schedules. Uh, the new year, everything has kind of gone kerfuffly. 2026 has been the year of all the trials, coming together. Oh, awesome. Yeah, EDB is so awesome. I love her. I always want like, honest to goodness, like, she's the person that made me wanna get wigs because I loved her purple hair, but look, y'all, I'm a cheapskate, and, um you can't do that much vivid dyeing at home. It's a double process, you have to bleach your hair first, and I am trying to be nicer to my hair, I really am, so I started getting wigs because I just thought she is the most badass, like, adult with the purple hair, and she rocks it, so yeah, yeah, Emily D. Baker, is definitely one of my favorites. The sad irony is that when you become a creator, you don't always have as much time to, keep up with the creators that you love, so, uh it's nice to hear about things that they've covered because, I'm trying to keep up with how other people are perceiving the Corey Richins trial, because look, y'all, I'm very aware that I don't know the back lore, the deep lore of the Corey Richins trial, so I aware that I'm naive about certain things, so I do wanna get all the perspectives, from different areas and different people. And thank you so much, Rhinestone Wow Girl. And that reminds me, I am able to where in the Fritos and Cheetos. No. How in the I'm gonna have to ask Nick. They've changed where I can gift memberships, which you would Oh, no, I'm just here. And 5 memberships. I'm genius. And they go to Tammy Bogard, Boosh, McFadden, Heidel, King Bob, and Ann. I always call her Ann. Look, I am so sorry. Dyslexia makes y'all here, another mofessional. Y'all think that I'm really witty and stuff with my little chirons for witnesses. No, it is legitimately because my brain takes like a minute to process uh when people spell things out loud. My brain can't visualize letters. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it takes me a minute uh, to process, when the witness spells things. So I typically just wait until they ask what their employment is and then put ologist on it. Y'all, seriously, like that is what I do. It is not that I'm super clever. It is that I'm very, very aware that I can't spell. And I never wanna be disrespectful to any witness by butchering their name. Like, y'all, me and autocorrect, like, when autocorrect can't figure out what I'm spelling and thank you so much, and, uh, super Baker kindly let me share his tradition of marking super chats and memberships. So I found these little notes that are fire in this little note card holder that's a dumpster. I know, y'all. I find the best things on Amazon at 3 AM. Yes. Thank you, thank you. And okay, so you guys, I may or may not this is a morning of mofessionals. It really is. You guys are learning all of my deep, dark secrets. I may or may not have a stationery addiction. And what I mean is that I may buy and want to buy all of the cool pens in the universe. I just do. And, so there are, like, incredibly so I also like very fine tipped pens, and if you, like me, cannot be trusted alone in staples, because you do not you need no more pens with a fine tip. You, in fact, have 974 fine tipped pens, but there are Japanese, like, stationery pens that are just solely fine-tipped pens. Now, I say that because now I still haven't figured out how to do it, and we are y'all, I apologize for the squirreliness, but I did warn you that it's a heavy rain day. But, I don't know if you guys can see this. This is my handwriting. I have incredibly small serial killer handwriting. I always thought that, like, one day, magically, like, I would grow up and not only learn to love salad, which I figured was just, like, I would achieve loving lettuce in puberty. It still hasn't worked. I really don't like, I honestly for those of y'all that love salads, congratulations, like, honest to goodness, I just taste the green. I don't know if I don't like chlorophyll, but the green in it no. As I said, I might be on the Steven Spielberg spectrum because my mom's like, "How do you taste green?" And I was like, "I can't explain it to you, but it's the same reason I can't eat avocados. They taste too green." And she's like, I love you. I don't understand you." And I was like, "That's okay. I have youngest, most feral. I understand the feeling now." Oh, great. We're 19 minutes in and I've gotten 1 headline. I appreciate y'all so much. Usually, we're not this squirrely. In really sad news, and, I'm not one for pushing religion on anyone. I am the world's worst Christian and not a spokesperson for any sort of, anything. But regardless of what you believe, thoughts and prayers to Evil Dead star Bruce Campbell, who has been diagnosed with a treatable but not curable form of cancer. And, cancer just sucks all the donkey balls. It just does. And I am so tired of there not being we could cure this. We could be a lot farther along. But it seems like there's more money in treatments than cures, and I'm getting a little tired of it. So, how about we get together and not lose people? We lost Dawson from Dawson's Creek. We lost Jesse Jackson with, I think, pancreatic cancer. How about just we just come together as humanity and not look at, what we would lose for the big pharma companies and look at what we would gain in human, miracles, just being able to to give people a longer life. Bruce Campbell has revealed that he's battling a cancer that's not curable and pausing to work as he focuses on his treatment. Now, the Evil Dead star, 67 years old, announced the news on Monday on X. Hey, folks, these days when someone's having a health issue, it's referred to as an opportunity. So let's go with that. I'm having one of those, he wrote. It's also a type of cancer that's treatable and not curable. I apologize if that's a shock. It was to me too, he continued. Campbell said he wasn't going to go into detail about his cancer, but he shared that his future public appearances would now take a back seat. My plan is to get as well as I possibly can over the summer so I can tour with my new movie, Ernie and Emma, this fall. Treatment needs and professional obligations don't always go hand in hand. Campbell added that he wasn't trying to enlist sympathy or advice by revealing his diagnosis, but wanted to get ahead of any false information that might go or come out. Fear not, I'm a tough old son of a bitch and I have a great support system, so I expect to be around a while. He concluded, as always, you're the greatest fans in the world and I hope to see you soon. Look, I live in Indiana. Lily, I'm looking at you. You always want to put out these commercials about unsolvable to solvable. Then get all your smart people that understand chemistry and math and geometry and who knows, quantum fucking physics. How about you just get all those people together and you don't worry about what money you'll be losing because, hey, maybe those people that passed away too early were the people that were going to take us and leap technology forward. Maybe the people that, passed away because the treatment is poisoning their bodies, maybe those people were the people that had the solutions to humanity's, pressing issues. Maybe, just maybe, they weren't even, that big things. Maybe they were just people who deserve to still be here if we cared about people over profit. I don't know. Howdy, howdy, M Spire. And thank you so much, Alice G. I love this. Y'all, honestly, I will say the cold weather, I have Mr. Moe's heating gloves, that I pilfered from him, but the colder weather and rain means my hands aren't the greatest, and if given the possibility of having a wig and looking like I actually took time and having to make my hair look like I took time, Imma pick a wig every day. So, you know, I'm not telling you what to do because that's kind of against my religion, but if you have if you believe in prayer or thoughts and prayers, this might be the time to send some out to Bruce Campbell and his family. Well, yeah, this is a reason that I say, as always, make the great American road trip a thing again. A plane taking off from Long Island crashed into the icy Hudson River during an emergency landing. Yeah, no thanks. Nope. RSVP me no. Also, things you will never see Mo do. In fact, ways to tell if Mo has been kidnapped or drugged. I am willingly in a Cessna. Look, if JFK Jr. couldn't keep a small plane in the sky, I am not trusting my life to a small ass plane. Now, I get that Boeing is also not reliable, but at the moment, no, no, I'm not going in a Cessna. You can't make me. Hell no. No, no, no. Jesus, take the Cessna. And thank you so much, A Auntie M, for gifting 5 memberships. And those went to Jim and A Auntie M, Pokemon, Samantha Shoe Lover, and Joe Schmo. So welcome to the Church of Mo. I am working on being better at members only, or not members only content. Good Lord. No, yes, members content, musings. I have just been look, y'all, when I realized that Nick wasn't going to be able to cover this morning, look, I am paranoid about my internet. I seem to have like 4 or 5 good hours, and I wanted to save all those good hours to cover since Nick has been, doing the lion's share of coverage, and I felt so bad because we were supposed to be doing this together. So, I haven't been doing musings to try to save my internet. I am pretty sure that's not how internet at all works, but that was my logic. A small plane taking off from Long Island plunged into the Hudson River on Monday night while attempting to make an emergency landing. Now, the pilot and passenger were able to escape by swimming through the cold waters to safety, according to authorities. Now, the Cessna 172 with 2 people crashed into the Hudson east of North New York Stewart International Airport around 8 p.m., according to the FAA. And JKD Buck says, Mo JFK Jr. died because of flying at night and he wasn't trained to. Well, yeah, yeah, still, I'm not getting into a small plane. Look, y'all, I may or may not have control issues, okay? Like, to the point that I routinely surprise myself that I let the pilots fly on the very rare occasions that I do have to fly. And thank you so much, uh, Candace, for becoming a member as well. Writing it. And yeah, that's so my professional is also the reason why I generally cannot talk and write names down at the same time because it takes my brain, uh, longer to process letters because I generally put them backwards, but you know what's awesome about dyslexia? I can also read backwards and upside down. So, when my mom was writing stuff or the people would write notes, I was always able to, read them, and I always kind of understood doctor's handwriting. I'm glad that I don't I'm I use my powers for good. But I do generally do in the mornings, every weekday morning, I do, oh, I'm sorry, fornicate. Thank you. I thank you for the pronunciation. I will generally remember pronunciations, uh, so thank you so much. But yeah, just reading things, no idea. I do not use hooked on phonics. I don't know if my brain just magics. I didn't read until I was 10. Like I could understand things. I could pick things up through context if someone read to me, but reading didn't make sense until I was 10 and then my mom couldn't stop me from reading. Like, I would have my books and she would buy me a book for, like, a reward, and I was like, "I'm done." And she's like, "It's a chapter book." And I said, "Yeah, I'm done. Do we have another?" So, yes, Kindle Unlimited is my friend. I don't know why that in any way correlates to a plane crash other than ADHD, but I am very glad that they were able to both get to safety and don't seem to be suffering from any permanent effects of their crash or the cold water. Now, There will be a, NTSB report, so don't expect to have any idea what exactly happened, right away, but I would I would expect that there would be some information within the week or so. So I will try to look for updates if there are any, uh, additional information about what actually happened. Oh, for the love of well, it's not a good day for McDonald's. Oh, this looks so not McDonald's CEO was ruthlessly mocked over a viral video tasting the Big Arch burger, the most unnatural thing I've ever seen. Yeah, he does kinda look like again, it's like Skynet almost got humans right. Skynet almost got the Borg right. Just uncanny valley enough for us to tell. And thank you so much. Thank you, Wolfram. Y Y'all, I appreciate my mods so much. Round of applause to my mods. They keep me going. They put up links. My brain does not work. I appreciate them so much. I yeah, this just looks like I mean, look, I get that he's a polarizing figure, but at least, the current president loves McDonald's. Like, if you wanna get someone who genuinely is going to be ecstatic about McDonald's having something new, I mean, I know polarizing, but still, like, if you wanna get a genuine reaction from someone who is a consumer of McDonald's. Oh, yeah, thank you. Pancakes, protein pancakes. Yes. Now, according to, well, lore, y'all, I'm gonna be real with you. I I don't think I've had McDonald's in a year. I kinda like their chicken nuggets, but not enough to wait in a drive-through, especially when I like Baconators better. Honestly, that's the news for McDonald's. The Baconator wins. Also, yeah, the Baconator wins, especially when I know that mostly every day, if I want a Frosty at Wendy's, you know what I can get? A Frosty. So maybe McDonald's CEO, while you're working on, revamping for the poors or whatever the hell you're doing, could you get your ice cream machines to work? Because it's almost like the one and only time I want to go to your establishment and maybe get a McFlurry that you've advertised every 5 seconds on, my husband's YouTube since he doesn't want to pay for 2 YouTube premiums. That when I want to go to said McFlurry, dealership, your McDonald's, said ice cream machine is always broken. So how about instead of making whatever a burger is always going to be subpar compared to the Baconator, you get your McFlurriator working. How about that? See, y'all, it's like I could help all of these companies, but they never listen to me. Not once. It's ridiculous. I could be your hero. I had to reset up my computer was being all wonky, so I'm trying to get all my headlines because usually now that I know that I have less time left, I'm trying to go through and remember what I've pulled, because my brain is that of a pasta, sieve once in a while. Well, in other pop culture news, and again, possibly someone that is in need of thoughts and prayers, if you are one to do that. Excuse me. Country music singer and songwriter JD Graham was in a horrific crash recently and does ask fans to continue to pray for him as he battles to recover in the hospital. Now, he was able to check in with his fans last Wednesday from his hospital bed via social media. "Hey folks, here I sit," he said in a clip posted to his Facebook. I'm barely alive, thank you guys. I'm still discombobulated, but my daughter said that people are helping out with some things. He has a broken back, broken ribs, and unfortunately, the dog that was with him at the time of his wreck passed away as well, so he is heartbroken. He does thank his fans for support and hopes to see them soon. Uh, Obviously, he's not going to be touring and things like that. So he does seem to be getting a lot of help and support. Uh, and it does seem like he was involved in a very serious accident on the interstate. He was hit by one semi and then slammed into another. The crash was severe, and first responders did have to use the jaws of life to get him out. Now, he was taken to a nearby hospital, and he is currently being treated at a hospital in Texas that has a trauma unit in it. So they're still trying to understand his diagnosis. A lot of trauma and spine diagnoses, you have to wait for the initial swelling to go down before they can even get clear imaging. So either way, he's going to have a long hospital stay and rehabilitation. And I know from personal experience that learning how to deal with the new reality of your body isn't easy. So I wish him grace and swift healing and support for his family and friends and fans. I hope that they have a community, like the one that we have, here, where they can support each other and support him. And now we have them, the headlines that will make you, "What in the Walmart rapture?" We bring him our favorite fan, Final Form Jesus. Some days we need him because the timeline is what in the Matrix has happened here.
The key keep its scroll, thou glowing shrine of thirst traps, scams, and dollar signs. We chant in tones both grim and low, for virtue fled a long time ago. Kyrie eleison, Christe descendat, final form Jesus return in wrath. With six-pack glistening, sword in hand, he cometh swift to cleanse the land.
RSVP me, nope, hell no. Mr. Mo was, thinking of, like, romantical dates for us when we were first dating, and he's like, "What about a hot air balloon?" And I was like, "Have you not seen Final Destination?" I was like, "Why? Why must I be the only person that's like, why must we tempt God and Darwin? Why?" Again, who was the extremely high person that thought, "You know what? Imma fill an entire, bunch of sheets with some hot air and then attach my mom's longer burger basket to it, and then I'm gonna stand in it and fly in the sky." Again, please tell me what hallucinogenics were used for that, because that's a nope. Two people were saved in a heart-stopping rescue after their hot air balloon collided with a Texas cell tower. Well, at least they got good coverage. Can you hear me now? Yes, I'm very near a tower. How near? Next to. Uh, Saturday morning, leaving them dangling nearly 1,000 feet above the ground. The Longview Fire Department launched the high-angle rescue just before 9 a.m. after receiving reports that a rainbow hot air balloon became snagged on a cell tower. And it's not even June. The balloon's envelope was punctured by the sharp edges of the 1,100-foot tower, and it was left dangling roughly 920 feet above the ground, according to the fire department. Now, the stomach-dropping photos shared by the department showed the tattered balloon trapped in the tower's bars as its basket with the two people inside swung back and forth in the wind. No, just effing no. All the hell. Look, y'all, I trust Boeing more than I trust a hot air balloon, and there is no way. Look, I am this close. Like, this is pushing me to be this close to becoming Mr. T on the A team. Like, y'all are gonna have to knock me the hell out to get just all the nope, Nope. Like, y'all, I would rather move to Australia right next to a gator farm. And look, it's not that gators terrify me. I just understand that I am not at the top of the food chain. So I don't need to be near them. I have a healthy respect. Just no. Now, first responders used multiple 300-foot ropes to safely remove the passengers. Oh, hell to the no. Again, they'd have to knock my ass the hell out. Like, "Ma'am, you'll be okay." No, just all the nope. Overall, it was a pretty smooth operation, as much as it can be, with a few challenges here and there. The Longview Special Operations Lieutenant Stephen Winchell said, climbing up 1,000 feet and down 1,000 feet for some of them with a bunch of heavy gear and rope is very physically taxing. I am thankful for their sweat equity and the Lord being with us, he added. Oh, yeah. No, Jesus better take the entire damn balloon and put it on the ground because that is the only way I'm getting down. Now, he described the situation as the Super Bowl of rope rescues simply due to the logistical challenges, including exposure to the elements and the height of the tower. He praised the passengers for doing what they needed to do to be calm and cooperative during the death defying rescue. No. The harrowing accident drew a large audience, with some even setting up lawn chairs. That's Mo. I am safely on the ground watching with popcorn and filming and making fun of this Darwin-like event. Uh, Winchell said a friend told him his own family was watching from a nearby gas station. Not your own family filming you for Team World Star. You Tower King 2, a local construction company, will break down the remnants of the balloon piece by piece. Their first priority is lowering the basket and its remaining tank of propane back to the ground. Then after that, they'll free the rest of the shredded, balloon bits. The firemen and emergency responders were lauded for their heroism and rewarded with free pizza. Just what in the what in the terrible first date is this? I just you know. Well, I mean, I didn't know whether to put this in Lord Chippy or Final Form Jesus for divine justice, so we went Final Form Jesus, but we name and shame, and yeah. Hollywood star's sicko piano teacher learns his fate for child grossness, charges after he fled the country. Yeah, did you flee to a non-extradition country? Because you might have wanted to research that. A glitzy piano teacher to the Hollywood stars who tried to flee the country after being convicted of horrific child grossness crimes has been handed a stiff prison sentence. Tiny baby Jesus, I know you've asked me to stop praying for vengeance, but I offer a negotiation to your lack of vengeance proposition. Should Gen Pop Justice, upon the, discovery of this man's past and convicted adjudicated crimes, could we call it a pass or a mulligan? Now, the teacher, John Khalil, 69, ew, was hit Friday with a prison sentence of 9 years and 4 months after a jury in October found the once respected keyboard instructor guilty of child grossness of a longtime student beginning when the child was 13. Now, Khalil, who claimed his glamorous clientele included the offspring of creators of hit shows like Mad Men and Orange is the New Black, fled the country to Australia. You retard. Okay, listen close. Criminals, come here. Closer. Closer to Auntie Mo. Australia is not a non-extradition country. They're actually one of our closest allies, you moron. At least Donna Adelson was going to a country that was not Cambodia or some freaking place, I can't remember, but daggone, did you do, like, not one damn Google search? "Where can America not get me?" And you picked Australia? You're a moron. If you're gonna be a criminal, be smart, damn. You hurt my logic portion of my brain. Oh god, you should have been arrested for that picture alone. Look, when look, y'all, I say this, a and I say this in not the way, but Speedos will be outlawed when I'm president, and here's this, look, bless my heart, or bless her heart, my middle daughter is athletic. She but she's in diving. And do you know what you don't know as an inside cat parent that gives birth to this weirdly athletic child? Do you know what you don't know? Because I'll tell you what you don't know. Do you know what most boys in high school swimming are wearing during swim meets? Speedos. And I am over here trying not to notice a bunch of like 12-year-olds or boys with porn stashes in Speedos, and it's just redonkulous. And no, no, we are bringing back swim trunks. No. Or those unitard things, but no. Just no, I was not aware that I was gonna be, surrounded by Speedos. Just terrible. Now, he was extradited from Australia because, th duh, in January, back to Los Angeles at the request of the US government. Now the US Marshal Service did escort the slippery pervert back to the United States, where he was taken into custody. He's now learned the hard way that you can run, but you should Google where you hide. A piano teacher in West Hollywood for more than 2 decades, his social media accounts showcased a flamboyant lifestyle, with the convicted child grossness pervert, uh, you know, outside in a teeny bathing suit, just ugh, all the ugh, just ugh. Now, it's a little late, but, you know, misery loves schadenfreude, and I kind of when I saw this headline, I was like, "Ooh, this is one that I should have caught." Roaches, rats, and cat poop. How New York singles are getting savage revenge on their exes for Valentine's Day. Now, while this channel does not offer legal or life advice, I'm pretty sure this could be considered harassment in many localities. So take your life and your felonious behavior in your own mind and maybe don't do this. Fed up with ghosters, cheaters, and situationships that go nowhere fast, scorned singles are swapping roses for roaches, candlelit dinners for spiritual cleanses, and sweet nothings for some seriously savage payback. From naming insects after their exes to magically cutting cords, heartbreak is officially feral and oddly charitable. Now, leading the petty parade is the an ever unhinged Valentine's Day tradition at the Bronx Zoo, where New Yorkers can name a Madagascar hissing cockroach after a lover, loather, or emotional trauma for $15. The classic package comes with a digital certificate proving your chosen name will live on in roach immortality, with proceeds helping wildlife conservation. Feeling extra dramatic, the zoo ups the ante with $35 and a virtual encounter where donors can meet a roach and surprise animal guest live with few zoo experts. There you go. For those who want revenge wrapped in merch, there's a $70 mystery box featuring roach themed good. I'm not spending $70 to piss someone off. Hell no, I'm buying myself chocolate. Like revenge doesn't need to cost $75. If he sent you a D pic, put googly eyes on it. There, 50 cents from Walmart. Congratulations, the Emily Post of vindictiveness. Mo. Not to be outdone, online gambling site BetUSA is back for the second year in a row, letting dumped daters name a New York City rat after their toxic ex for $15, then drafting it into a fictional all-star rat basketball league. Now, participants can spill the tea by submitting breakup horror stories, with 5 juiciest stories earning their rodents a startup lining spot or lineup spot. Yeah, just no. Now, these are all creative, but again, don't actually send weird things in the mail, as that could be a crime or misdemeanor in your locality. Now, I appreciate you all for joining me with Mornings with Mo, but I am going to hustle scoot you guys over to my next stream. I do have a bingo card. Now, whether or not I'll actually be playing bingo, as I will be taking notes and keeping this sidebar counter going until Nick gets here. Uh, is a thing, but on the Petty Express, I did make a bingo card, so I will see you guys over there. I'm gonna take a bio break, have your snackety snacks ready and your emotional support beverages, and I will see you guys in just a little bit. Bye, you guys. Thank you so much for joining. Have a great day.